Hello and welcome to Black History Story. Now, imagine witnessing a murder at just 7 years old, and then your own father hands you $7, $1 for every year of your life, and whispers two words, our secret. She stayed silent for over 30 years. Now, this is the story of Carol Jenkins and the town that chose not to speak. September 16, 1968, Martinsville, Indiana. The rain was falling. The streets were quiet. In the back seat of a car, a little girl watches in horror as her father, Kenneth Clay Richmond, pulls over. A young black woman is walking alone. Moments later, she is attacked, held from behind and stabbed in the chest with a screwdriver. The girl sees everything. The struggle, the fear, the moment life leaves her body, then silence. On the drive home, her father presses $7 into her hand, $1 for every year of her life. He tells her, then he says it, this is our secret, and for decades it was. Now, the woman who was killed that night was Carol Mary Jenkins. She wasn't just a victim, she was 20 years old, a big sister to five younger siblings, a daughter, a fiancée. She had dreams, big dreams. Carol wanted to move to Chicago and become a model, and everyone who knew her believed she could. To save money, she worked at a factory. Then she took a second job selling encyclopedias door to door. It was honest work, but on her very first day, she was sent somewhere dangerous, Martinsville, a place known as a sundown town where black people were not welcome after dark. Carol knew it and she was afraid. She even told a friend she wished she had bought maize before going, but she went anyway because she needed a job, because she had dreams. That afternoon, Carol walked door to door. At first, everything seemed normal. She was polite, friendly, professional. Then everything changed. A car began following her. Two white men inside, shouting racial slurs, circling her, hunting her. Terrified, Carol knocked on the stranger's door. Inside lived a young couple, Dawn and Norma Nell. Her words were desperate. Please let me in. Someone is following me. They let her in. She was shaking. She was panicked, afraid for her life. The couple called the police, but when the police arrived, he didn't protect her. He didn't take her to safety. Instead, he questioned whether she had a permit to sell encyclopedias. Then he left, leaving her vulnerable in a town she never should have been in. But Norma Nell tried to help. She drove Carol around searching for her co-workers. They couldn't find them, so they offered Carol a place to stay the night. Carol refused. She didn't want to be a burden. Think about that. A young woman terrified for her life, still trying to be polite, still trying not to be inconvenience to others. So she left, walking alone in the rain at around 8:30 p.m. That was the last time she was seen alive. 15 minutes later, she was attacked. Two men got out of a car. One grabbed her from behind, and Kenneth Clay Richmond drove a screwdriver into her chest, piercing her heart. They left her there, alone, bleeding in the rain. She was pronounced dead at 9:25 p.m. She was just 20 years old. You would think a crime like this would shake a town. You would think justice would come quickly, but it didn't. Instead, the case went cold. Authorities dismissed racial motives. They chased false theories, ignored obvious signs, and the town, it went quiet. Even worse, the couple who helped Carol were harassed, threatened, driven out of the town for doing the right thing, for opening their door. Meanwhile, Carol's family waited. Her stepfather never stopped pushing for answers. He believed someone knew the truth, and he was right. More than 30 years later, everything changed. An anonymous letter arrived. It named the killer, Kenneth Clay Richmond, and revealed something chilling. Her daughter had witnessed the murder. That little girl, now a grown woman named Shirley McQueen, finally spoke. She confirmed everything. She described the attack, the weapon, the clothing, even a detail that never was released to the public. A yellow scarf Carol had been given that day. And then she told about the money, $7 given to her to buy a silence. In 2002, Richmond was finally arrested. He was 70 years old, a known criminal with ties to the Ku Klux Klan, but justice never fully came. He was declared unfit to stand trial, and just weeks later she died, taking part of the truth with him. The second man was never identified. No conviction, no closure. It took nearly 50 years for Carol's name to be honored. A park, a memorial stone, a documentary called The Girl in the Yellow Scarf. But even that came with resistance because some people still didn't want to remember. Carol Jenkins wasn't just killed by a man, she was failed by a system. A police officer who didn't protect her, a town that chose silence, and a secret that cost $7. But here's the truth. Some secrets don't stay buried forever, because eventually someone will speak. And when they do, the silence breaks. Jenkins was here. She mattered, and no amount of money was ever enough to erase that. So, if this story moved you, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because stories like this deserve to be heard and remembered. I'd like to see you in the next video. Bye bye. Cheers.